as not very important matter. And therefore the government lose, that discipline. The specific respective officers lose discipline. What we've done so far, out of the pending bill of 43 billion that belongs to the national government, to date we are only remaining with a balance of about 14 billion. The rest we have paid. Last year, by December, we had paid 14 billion. By this time, we had already paid 23 billion. And therefore now remaining with only some amount which is not very big. We've also put pressure on the counties, and by now most of them are paid about close to 71%. We are remaining with the 2 months because we have not disbursed money for most of them, but the money for May, and we have agreed on a payment plan which they have given us up to end of June. We think that's going to be adhered to. On the procurement, I'll ask the PS, Dr. Muya, to handle.
Yeah, the question about e-procurement and whether we are doing away with IFMIS. I think the point is that IFMIS has got a special facility for procurement, but in order for us to have robust data in terms of controlling the procurement that we do in the public sector, making sure that we monitor and compare and get value for money, we are looking for a robust e-procurement that can be integrated with IFMIS. And progress has been made, which is very significant to date, and we are looking at this as one of the ways in which we are going to improve the delivery of services by having a lower unit cost of procurement of government goods and services. But let me also touch on the issue about programming money out of some of the slow projects. One of the things that we are working on is a software system, which then will help us to make sure that we are able to manage our debts and the projects in a proactive way. And that way then we'll be able to look and see on an ongoing basis which projects are not performing according to plan, and therefore where we can then take away money from there and reprogram it to put it in projects that are progressing.
I think since we've had a really long day, so we want to ask for permission, but just to confirm to you, the e-procurement is complementary to IFMIS. It's going to use the same architecture in terms of the digital payment and the digital transaction. We want to thank you very much and look forward to meeting another time.
Then we can discuss. Now, with the data simulations that you have in place now, can you paint to us how the job market is likely to be impacted by coronavirus? How many jobs are likely to have been put on the line, and how many more are likely to be lost? Based on the corona model that the government has been using. And number two, when you look at the economic growth, now with everything put in place, what is the growth likely to be? And then number three, the issue of debt relief. Do we have a position yet as whether we need to approach lenders, for a temporary debt relief? And the issue of superannuation scheme, it has been pending for more than 10 years now. You have touched about it. You say it's likely to start in time now. Do we have a certain time frame as to when this is likely to start?
Those are just too many. Anyway. Yes. What? Alcohol.
Take some.
You take the alcohol one.
I'll take alcohol.
And pension. Of course, we all know there's not business as usual. The sectors have slowed down. If you look at the sector of tourism, has actually the most affected. Service sector is generally affected. Transport is affected. But Kenyans are resilient and quite innovative. They are coming out now to try to see how best they can cope, how best they can maintain the flow of supplies, how best they can maintain their staff. And we are quite optimistic that with the appropriate protocols, the economy will slowly pick up because business will have actually come back to near normal in the next few months. So these are things that we are looking at. Regarding how many jobs have been lost, it's possible that we've lost substantial. I cannot give you the figure right away. We are carrying out a survey through the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. We'll be having this in the next round of brief that we are going to have. The growth in the growth rate, I captured in my statement that this year we were looking at 5.4, but we are unlikely to realize that. The growth is going to go down to 2.5. 2.5% of GDP to, if we are lucky, to 3%. But you know, how do you context this in the space of the global economy? Most economies of the world are actually registering negative growth. We are lucky in the region that our economy is quite diversified and fortified against these challenges. So we will not expect to go lower than 2.5 unless something worse than this happens. Regarding debt relief, we appreciate the initiative of the G20 and the multilateral financial institution to press for a debt moratorium for about 6-7 months, up to December. We've carefully looked at it. We are happy with the proposal, but based on circumstance, we are still not sure, and we are looking at, we are trying to push for better terms, better concession, because what's happening is that some of the conditions attendant to debt relief are quite punitive, because it will block us from further borrowing. It will also give us a challenge already with the bonds that we have, particularly the Eurobond and the rest. So based on this, we have not yet concluded our engagement with these institutions. Maybe PS?
Let's deal with the pension issue, and I'll actually expand it a bit because last year, you may remember that we had an RRI initiative to deal with the pensions that we have, and that was to sort out the backlog that we have. And so we are progressing with sorting out the pensions system, and right now we have got a team that is looking at the whole system from scratch and make sure that by end of this calendar year, we have got a system that delivers such that at the time of retirement, you are assured of when you retire, you will not wait so that you get your pension. So that is just on the general side of pensions. Now, in terms of the superannuation, we've already put in 10 billion shillings, and we are proposing this in the budget of 2020-2021. So that we can also tie this to the pensions reform that we are looking at in the pension sector, so that all of this go together. And so we are committed, we are clear, and we want to make sure that we've got a good pension system that works. Now, the other question that has been posed to us is about alcohol and the tax on alcohol. From an economics point of view, the demand for alcohol is inelastic, which means as you increase the price, the volume that people consume of alcohol does not change significantly. And so, informed by that economics, it's an area where we are clear in terms of raising revenue. We can raise revenue through alcohol consumption and taxing alcohol. It is not that we do it to be discriminative, but we do that knowing that it's an area where we can raise some revenues. And we'll continue to look to make sure that we encourage all the sectors anyway as we propose taxes to support our revenues.
Thank you very much.
think we have given CS permission to go home.
Now I think
you have done
tomorrow.
You have done a very well. Yeah, but sir, you did very well. I'm very proud.
COVID-19 has disrupted healthcare systems across the world.